Well, it's time for yet another video about something I know nothing about. This time the topic is gas fireplace inserts. This is my fireplace, or at least it was, and this is where a gas fireplace insert was, and it's not there now because we had a problem with it. Let me tell you the story of this fireplace. Originally, when we moved in the house 30 years ago, it was this ugly brick thing, and I'll be darned if I can find a good picture of it, but here's one you can see in the background at one of my daughter's birthday parties 30 years ago when she was young. Of course, she had her dollhouse in front of it and CDs on the top, but that was, the 90s. And then around 2000, I was unemployed, so I took a sledgehammer to the bricks and we ripped out the old fireplace and we boarded it up entirely and sheetrocked over it. So we deleted the fireplace for almost a decade. And then in 2011, we remodeled the house and we built this framework and put the gas fireplace insert in, because gas is much nicer than wood, and you don't, stack wood by your house and get termites in your walls, which we did, and all that kind of stuff. So, and this has worked great for, a decade until we ran into some trouble. So what was in here was a Kozi Heat Rockford RFD-30 because it's 30 inches across the front, a little less actually. And we have a mid-century modern house, so we wanted it to, we didn't want real fake logs, because we figured if it's going to be fake, it should really be fake. So we got this particular unit. It has this sort of river rock thing going on it, and they don't make it anymore. You can't buy one anywhere. So when we were using this for the 10 years during the rain, sometimes it'd be burning here, and we'd hear this psst, psst, psst. And we go, what is that? It sounds like water or something. Oh, well, it was actually water dripping on the top of the firebox. And over the course of a decade, it rusted the firebox completely out. And what happened was that it wouldn't stay lit after a while anymore. So I had a guy come out and we took it apart and he goes, it's all rusted. I'm not going to touch this thing. It's a death trap. It'll fill your house with carbon monoxide and kill you. And I said, so he left and I said, I'll go fix it. And I was going to take a wire brush to it, but then I started to look at it and yeah, the rust is just crumbling out of the thing. So we went shopping and we searched at every fireplace store for a radius for like 50 miles. And everyone's very nice, but it's like buying a car. Everything's a dealership and the pricing's opaque, and they all want to do their own installs and make another grand there and everything. So it's looking like it's going to be at least 5, maybe 6, 7. You can go 8, 9, 10, depending on the unit you want to put in. But we hated all of them. We don't like the natural, we don't like the fake rocks, and the glass and linear ones didn't really seem to fit, and they'll have lighting kits now and weird back. So, we walked into this one we liked, and, I guess maybe it's just habit, but, we just couldn't find anything. Plus all the new ones have this safety grid across the glass to keep children from burning their hands, which we didn't like either. So in desperation, after like a 2-month search, I said, let's try to find a used one. Well, there isn't much of a used market in gas fireplace inserts. However, I did find a fireplace store in Montana that had a new old stock 2022 version of the Rockford, which I think was the last year they made it, and that was their factory. Their floor demo unit, and they had it in their bargain corral. So I said, I will call them and get a price and buy that. And it took me about 2 months of weekly phone calls to kind of seal that deal, because they had to get it out of their back room, and then when they did, they found the fan was broken, so they had to order a replacement fan, which was back ordered, and that finally got in. Anyway, finally bought it, $3,500, which is relatively cheap for these things. I probably could have gotten that figure down if I wanted to negotiate, but they were solving a problem for me, and they should make a little profit too. And then and it was like $500 to ship it. And so we're in for about $4,000 on the fireplace itself, and hopefully it's going to be identical to the unit, or very close to the unit we have, so that in an ideal world, we can hang our pretty front piece here that comes out into the room a little bit, which we like, instead of the plainer square one that theirs came with. And so today we're waiting for the truck to arrive to deliver it, and then we'll get to open it up and see. The other thing we're going to do, besides sliding this unit in and connecting the gas and the electricity, and since all that's existing, it's not going to be a very interesting video, we'll just connect that up, is we have to change the chimney system, which is this I think it's Duravent is the name, stainless steel collinear 3-inch pipes, and hopefully the exhaust on this system's the same. the new one coming in. And that all rusted too, so that has to come out. So we have to lift the chimney cap and pull the old pipes. I put a tarp over all that to take that off to keep the water out. And then we'll thread the new one down, and that'll be kind of the adventure because I've never done that. So yes, I'm going to try to do my own install because it seems simple, and why pay someone $600 to $1,000 to do this? So with luck, we will be able to fix our horrible, shoddy maintenance for $4,500, something like that. Which these days is pretty good, and we'll have something we more or less like. Kozi Heat isn't a perfect unit by any means. Of course, now it's an old design. The remote eats batteries, but there you go. Maybe I'll try to sell the old remote and the old fan unit on eBay or something for somebody, but we'll see. So we're just going to sit here and wait for the truck to arrive.
That was incredibly impressive driving. It's relatively quiet here.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though.
As soon as you show up.
As soon as the truck shows up, everybody wants to come and go. That's usually the way my life runs anyway. So do you want to get it underneath the carport there?
That'd be fantastic.
Well, I always save the best for last. The fireplace kit, huh?
Yeah. The water was leaking on our old one for a decade and rusted it all to hell.
Oh, it did.
And Montana was the only place I could find one that was similar because we don't like any of the new ones.
Oh, I bet. You want it left, right, center, middle?
Oh, you probably can cheat it a little towards the wall there and we're good.
So here we are. It's late in the day. I don't want to get too far into this. I got to go somewhere tonight anyway, so we'll look at it more tomorrow. This is a little worrying that it's listed as a Lakefield and not a Rockford, but I'm assuming because it's a demo unit they used an old box around. Gosh, I hope so. Anyway, maybe we can just snap some of these bands and take a little peek in here and see what's going on. Well, it's way down here, and it's an amateur hour packing job. Definitely not original, so that's encouraging. And first look looks good. Hang on, I'll let you see. Yeah, so obviously what was just lying around the shop here, but the top of this looks good. Let's really get into this a little bit. Oh, shiny. It says Rockford RFD-30, so I think we're in luck. And this looks about the same, except a lot cleaner and nicer, and maybe a later version. And this is great. Just feeling down here on the glass, it seems to have the same mounting brackets that our old one has on the front glass, so we may well indeed be able to hang our nicer front unit decoration trim on this thing here. So yeah, that's as far as I'm going to take it tonight. We'll rip into it completely tomorrow morning, but this looks good if it didn't, get too banged around in the carton during shipping here, but things seem fine. So it's the next day. Let's go all time-lapsey and open this stuff up. I think this big box has the metal backing frame that goes up against the sheetrock, and this smaller one has the flat decorative frame that goes around the glass. And we're not going to use that if we can use our chromed half-round one instead, but let's get to it. So the folks in Montana just plopped the insert down on a pallet and put a bottomless cardboard box around it with some padding on the inside, so it was easy to get into. And I saved the big pieces of cardboard because I think they'll make a good cushion for the hearth when we're sliding this back into the fireplace cavity inside the house later on. Interesting to see the changes that take place to a product over a 13-year life cycle or whatever it's been, because this unit is exactly the same dimensions as mine, but has more vent holes on the side and top. And whether that's really for better airflow or just to save some sheet metal costs and make it lighter to ship, I don't know, maybe a combination of all three. And the electronics in my old unit are on a metal plate that's screwed to the side of the insert, and in this one they're in plastic and sitting in a tray on the side, which makes them easier to get to and probably easier to replace and a little more resistant to water, hopefully. And a side effect of that different, upgraded, cheaper to make probably electronics is that the remote is different. This is the remote from my crummy old unit that eats batteries. As you can see, the batteries are low right there right now, as they always are. And the new one comes with the ProFlame GTMF system. I don't know what that stands for, maybe GT, modified frequency, but it comes with this remote. Ooh, like something out of Star Trek there. You sit that on your coffee table and push it. I don't know. I'd rather have something that fits more comfortably in my hand because we're not going to leave this thing out. But there you go. Hopefully it won't eat batteries as much. You know, if it doesn't run the screen all the time, it might not. Of course, it probably doesn't have a screen on now because there's no batteries in it, but we'll see. Anyway, what we should do now is go up to the roof and start working on the collinear exhaust and intake air pipes that come down the chimney, which should be pretty miserable. But before we do that, I would really like to bring my half silver surround out here and see if I can really hang it on these 4 hooks on the glass, and if we'll be able to use the pretty one that we like. So hang on a second, I'm going to go in the house and grab that. Okay, moment of truth. Yes, we are golden. Fantastic, look at that. Yay. So this will make my wife very happy. So let's go up to the roof. Here, check this out. Looks like we had paper wasps made a nest underneath the big tarp. Oh, there's water in here. So the bag I had over the top of this caught quite a bit of rainwater, and that's all over everything, but we've never seen any down in the firebox downstairs, so I think we're good there. Our theory as to why this has been leaking for 10 years is that there's a separation in the silicone or whatever they use to glue this down to the top chimney tile on this side, and we think water was curling under and running back and down the chimney. I have run a hose around the base of this thing where the flashing is, and we're not getting any leaks there, so we do think it's all coming in from the top. So the next goal is to pry this thing off. I guess I'll take a big screwdriver and try to do that. The instructions I have for the new one say to surround these pipes with 3 feet of non-paper-backed fiberglass insulation, because there is no job that can't be made more miserable without fiberglass insulation. So I'm curious to see when we get this off if we find insulation under here or what. I don't have any insulation. If I have to do that, then I gotta go get some. But anyway, let me start prying. Yes, we have some insulation in here. I'll shoot some B-roll so you can see. You know, I've never gotten a good answer what the best material is to use to glue the brick chimney tile to the metal flashing. This doesn't look to be silicone. It looks to be some kind of elastomeric roofing sealing compound, similar to some stuff I used on my garden shed to seal the nail holes with. I've got some black RTV high temperature silicone, which is what I'm going to use, and hopefully that'll be more flexible and seal it better. But yeah, so now the goal is to try to pull this whole pipe out of here as well as the insulation, so that should be fun. So this is actually a fairly short run, so I hope there's only about 10 feet of pipe. It's just stuffed in here. There's nothing like wire or anything holding it up. I'm trying to figure out if bugs have been eating it. And just shoved it down there. I think it's wet. Well, there we go. Yeah, it's pretty rusty, especially at the bottom. So there could be pinholes in here. I guess it's not wet. Let's see how long it is. about 10'7". So that'll make sizing the new one a little easier. Let's go get the new one. Oh, first I'm going to take a wire brush to the top of this and clean off all the crap. A wire brush on a drill and throw some junk away. So be back in a minute. So just taking a look, and this top chimney tile isn't even close to level. We had this whole chimney rebuilt after the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. We're in the Santa Cruz Mountains of California, and it's always been a bit of a bodge. In fact, looking at it now, you can even see where water was running down. So it looks like our theory was correct. Water was coming in through this low part here and going down. I don't know if I can level it or just use a ton of silicone. Gotta think about that a little bit. So as I was doing this with the wire brush, I noticed under the paint there were these patches of silicone. So I used the wire brush to ground it off, and you can see there's these settling cracks all over this thing. Someone had tried to patch maybe decades ago. Of course, this doesn't let water go down into the firebox because this keeps it out, but it does let it go into the box of the chimney and rot the roof out down there, so we need to seal these. So the only way I could get a small amount of unfaced general purpose fiberglass insulation was to order it and have it delivered by Home Depot because my local store didn't have it, so that should be arriving tomorrow. In the meantime, this is the $480 chimney kit from Amazon. That was a pretty good price. Some retailers have this going up to $600. Occasionally some scam websites on the internet have it for $100, but you'll never get it. Let's make this out of here. So there you go. We got our pipes and our vent cap, and now I have to shape this to fit the 17 by 8 1/4 chimney tile up there. And I don't really have a metal brake or anything. I've got this hand seamer, and I have some tin snips, I hope, if I can find them. So I'm going to try to measure this out and bend it together and try not to mess it up too badly. So I have measured and I've laid something out here. It's worth noting the exhaust is on the right, both on the fireplace and on this. So this is the street side and this is the house side. And it's an 18-inch square. Unfortunately, the chimney tile is like 17 wide, which only leaves you a 1/2 inch for the flap on each of the short ends, even a little less. This is a 1/2 inch line here. And then the old cap had 10 inches in this dimension, front to back, and I have made it 11 so that there's even more room for water to hopefully run off here. And I hope it doesn't act like a sail in the wind. That's my only concern. And then we have a 1-inch bend on the long end, and then this is going to get discarded and this is going to get discarded. So now is the cutting. I'm going to go down this line and cut 2.5 inches off of each end. And I have this and I have this. I don't know which one is going to be more accurate. Probably the big one. This is kind of, well, let's see what happens. Well, not the greatest work ever. Boy, doing so good there, so got to the end. Oh well. Well, that's kind of a rubbish job, but I was always terrible in metal shop. Just don't have a talent for it at all. I'd like to clean this crap up, but it's hard to get this to do its thing, and I'm trying to figure out what else I have that could. Oh wait, I have a nibbler. I could nibble that off. Hang on. I don't know, maybe this is ridiculous, and it might be too big a gauge, but let's see what this can do. You know, not great, but maybe good enough. Okay, let's see if we can mess it up now. Man, I really need a break. I'm going to take this into the shed and put it in the vise, see if that'll help me get started. Just can't get the bend started. God, I'd hate to screw it up after all this. I need one of those rolly ones, you know, that goes back and forth to... Yeah, okay. Well, it's not great. It's not terrible. Let me take the hand seamer to this. I can hear those of you at home who know something about metal screaming at me. But, you know, this isn't great, but it's not bad. That came out okay. All right, I'm going to do the other side. I won't bore you with that. Well, it's not super professional, but it could be worse. And oddly, I don't want to jinx it. I haven't cut myself on any of this because I'm not wearing gloves. So let's try the end now. I'm going to bend it less than a ½ inch so I have room for the chimney tile, which is exactly 17. So that's a half. Let's sneak away from that a little bit. Yeah, you know, that's okay. It's getting there. I got my corners tucked in and I'm just kind of going down with the lineman's plier followed by the hand seamer to kind of give this a little bend in so I can get kind of a drip edge on it because I still am paranoid about water curling back around, and I guess it's silly, but make a little drip edge on this thing. Okay, I think that's it, unless I want to solder these corners, which would be optional extra credit. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a crummy job. And it's a cold joint too, I think. It's just not clean enough, you know, and the flux is not new enough. So here we are. It's not the most perfect thing in the world, but it's good enough. Came out okay. I got to clean up where I tried to solder the corners poorly. Got a little soot and stuff to get off of there, but I think it's going to be all right. Should actually take it up and try it, see if it's going to fit. Okay, is it wide enough? And let's see. Exhaust on the right, so it goes this way. Label towards me. Ooh, it's tight, but I think we got it. Might have to, boy. Might want to flare the short edges out just a tiny bit, and this is still uneven, so we'll try to fix that. But, you know, I think that's going to do it. I just noticed something suspicious. If you look at the old one, the drum of the wind cap goes into the flange this way inside the ring so that water can get down here and maybe leak into the chimney. On the new one, the drum goes around the flange coming up from the cap, so no water can get in here. So was that part of our leak? Maybe. So yesterday I took a wire brush and cleaned off this crown real good, and then I took a penknife and picked out the last bits of silicone, and then I reapplied painter's caulk to all of this latex, and I've got some brush on latex water sealing that's gonna go on all of this. Of course, this is the last sunny day. The rains are starting tomorrow, just when I want a waterproof thing, so kind of want to move this along. And today I have got some mixed up some mortar, some refractory mortar. What is it? The 211. Just a little pound of it here, because do I know anything about masonry or anything? No, I do not, and I don't have any of the right tools or anything either. So anyway, I've mixed up a pound of this stuff, and my idea is to slather it on the top here and try to level this out. So that's what we're going to attempt to do now. Cross your fingers. Well, that is a lot better, even though it's by no means perfect. I'm glad I did it. Hopefully the insulation will arrive today before it gets too dark, and we may be able to put this whole chimney system together before the rain comes, and we can kind of leak test it in an actual storm, which would be nice. So we measured this at 10'7" up on the roof, but I did the measurement the way they recommend in the instructions, and that's to drop a tape measure down the chimney, and I think we got 140 inches to the base of the
box, and then you subtract 19 3/4 from that, and that gives you the height, and that gives us 10 foot 2 inches. And of course there's some play in this, so it's not exact. 10 foot is the minimum for this run that it can be, so we're just kind of sneaking under the wire there. Now, stretching this pipe out is a 2-person job, so YouTube audience, once again you have the honor of seeing my lovely wife, Mrs. WardCo, help me stretch this thing out. All right, so the instructions say to start in the center and pull it apart, but then I'll have 25 feet of expanded hose when I'm only using 10. So I'm suggesting we choke up on it and like start here instead.
Okay.
And you reach around and grab the other side, and we'll pull away from each other.
Do you want me to start here?
You know, I want to just choke up on it. I don't need 10 feet of this stuff. And then the only thing they say is that you have to let it turn if it wants to turn.
Okay.
So let's see what we can do here. Oh, yes. Yeah, so I don't want you to go way down that way so much. Maybe you can choke up with me.
Oh, it's pretty uniform, actually.
Yeah. Do it for the camera.
It's slippy.
I like it when you grab my hose.
Right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Actually, this is helpful. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's okay. So how much do we think we have here? Of Expando. Not quite enough, but we're getting there.
Okay.
So,
Oh, I see.
It's going to be about as long as that one, right?
Okay. You've still got some here.
Okay. Now how are we doing?
A little bit more. Yeah. Not much more. Nice. I think that's going to do ya.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
Okay.
Should we work down from the end this time, or do you want to do what we did last time? Very good.
Okay.
Impressive.
Thank you.
Come here. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the Rutland high temperature RTV silicone, so we'll put this on to beat this on, trying to make a seal. See how this goes. Oh, there we go. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. See if we can make a mess over here too. Okay, very nice. So all the instructions say to stick like 3 sheet metal screws in this to hold it, and that seems like a bad idea to me. Why would I want to puncture the envelope? So I'm going to try a band clamp I have, stainless steel, see how that works. Okay, there we go. That's pretty tight and pretty ooey gooey. Okay, so we're doing this. Got Mrs. WardCo back out here, and we have Chimney cam running. And we want to do it with 2 people so it goes down nice and gentle and doesn't tear the aluminum at all.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me just take these.
Careful, careful, careful.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
And it's much better than yesterday.
Okay.
So first I'm going to try to jam this fiberglass in here because I think it's going to be messy. And then I'm going to paint the top of this crown with the waterproof sealer. I think that's pretty good, you know. Does it go down 3 feet? I don't know about that. But it's certainly filling that and keeping that nice and in position there. All right, I'm going to mask off this with duct tape and paint this goo on. Well, I guess I can paint under here okay. Let's go ahead and glue this down and be done with it then. Okay, that is well and truly glued down. All right, let's go on to the water sealer. It's a really thick latex, it's like peanut butter. So we're supposed to let this sit for a little bit before we hit it with coat 2. Okay, coat 2. Okay, let's lather on a third coat just for grins, because I don't know. You know, the remainder of the tub is going to lie around the house for 10 years and then we'll throw it away. So you might as well put it on now. Well, it'll be interesting to see how well this holds up, or if it's just going to deteriorate into an ugly mess in 5 years. Okay, that's a lot of goo. And I think I should stop messing with it before I screw it up. All right, let me clean up. This is all latex, so it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And then we'll come back, and I've taken a wire brush to the flashing down here, and I'm going to put Rain Buster on it. Okay, that's it, except for the coat of paint this desperately needs. The flashing down there has been redone. This is about 40 minutes dry now, and this is all glued down tight. So maybe this is dry enough we can see what kind of edge we have. Woo! Still a little damp. Yeah, probably taking this off too early. But I don't want to come back up here today. Or until after the rain even. Hey. That doesn't look too bad. I'm not going to mess with it. My hands are full of latex now. So we had showers and rain for the last day and a night, and the silicone under the chimney cap is cured up nicely, but this coating, waterproof coating for the crown, isn't even drying, and now the rain's knocked it all over the place, and it's running down the sides of the chimney. Anyway, Mrs. WardCo and I grabbed the insert, threw it on a dolly, and dragged it into the house, and now we're ready to try sticking it into the fireplace box. The goal now is to get this part, the air chute, off of the unit so we can glue it to the pipes that are coming down the chimney, and there are instructions in the manual on how to detach that thing, but they're incomprehensible to me because they describe all kinds of things I've never heard of, like refractory clips and screws and baffles, so we're just going to have to try to figure it out here. First, I'm going to use this tool to release the glass and get all the junk out of here. I know how to do this because it's the same as our old one. You kind of give this a pull and these things go back. Maybe. There we go. I think that should do it. Did that come off? And here is Mr. Rock Kit with the lovely placement diagram. All right, I need my headlight. Okay, you're sitting on the floor looking up at the roof of the firebox, and the first step is to remove the refractory panel, which I think is this top plate here. And they say remove the clips. There's one on each side, or it's attached to clips. One on, oh, well that just swung out of there. Not quite sure what that's supposed to hold. Huh. And then it says to remove the 3 in back. Are they the same size? Yes, they are. And that's supposed to come down and out. Like that, I guess. Now you have a better view of it than I do. Remove the access plate secured with 2 screws from the firebox ceiling. I think it's these 2. Oops. We're losing our side refractory panel. Two inside air duct. I think they want these bad boys to come out, and they're much bigger nuts on studs. Oh, got it first time. There we go. Okay, let's see. There we go. Let's glue this sucker. Well, same deal as the other end. We're going to glue this to this and band clamp it, so I won't bore you. Okay, we had to abandon the band clamp because this is the factory end of the pipe and we never really expanded it all the way. And so the compressed part has so much strength I can't squeeze it. So we're gonna go like most of the instructions say and use the sheet metal screws. Okay, finally. And I'm gonna put a little more silicone about just to be sure this is completely sealed, but it looks good here. It's leaking out all around. And here we are, not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's sealed real good and is quite secure, so we're gonna let that dry for 24 hours. It's now 25 hours later and Mrs. WardCo and I have lifted the insert into the fireplace and I've yanked the collinear pipes down to the firebox and attached them and put all the interior stuff back together. Also connected the gas line, which was coiled up on the left side and extends and goes to our fitting back there, and I plugged it in and I turned the electronics pack on the side on and it beeped a couple of times. Interestingly, the instructions don't say actually when you should plug this thing in. So now it's time to put the backing plate that goes against the sheetrock in, and I have learned that is called the shroud. And we have ours, but the back of it's rusty. We can use it because no one will see the rusty bit in the back, but it's worth taking a look at the one we got shipped to us and see if it's in better condition and approximately the same size. So that's what we're going to do now. This is a J30-3004 shroud, 30 inches by 44. Looks like it's the same size. Back's certainly in nicer condition than ours, but and there's some screws here. I wonder if the metal is as thick as it was 11 years ago. I guess so. Well, anyway, I think this is gonna do. We'll take this one. Well, we've leaned the new shroud and our old face frame up against the wall here. This is much bigger than our old littler one and probably too big. So even though the back's not rusty, I don't think we're going to use it. And here, by way of comparison, is the original one, the rusty one. We're going to use this. So one of the nice things about this later design is that it has a battery compartment built into the wall of the unit here. Our old one just had a plastic battery carrier that was flopping around, and I popped open the cover. This is so the receiver can work when the power's off, when it's taking remote control commands. I was going to put in batteries, but there's already cheap Costco batteries in here because it was their floor demo unit, and I'm going to put cheap Amazon batteries in here, but at least they'll be fresh. The next step is to pair the remote with this unit so the remote and the receiver get on the same radio frequency, and I wanted to do this before I put the shroud on because I thought I might have to reach around to the side here, but it turns out the programming button is right here. I didn't record it, but this switches off remote and manual on, and in the off position you hold down the program key and then press the power button, and that synchronizes it and that turns it off, and you have to repeat this process anytime you change the batteries on either end, so that's a big pain, but somehow I've gotten it synchronized here. All right, let's see about putting the shroud on. See if it'll actually attach. Okay, the shroud is on, the remote is paired, the gas is on. Time to put in the rocks and fire this thing up. So I followed the layout pattern, and my arrangement's a little more formal than what we had in there. We had a service guy come in like, 2015 or 2016, and he kind of made everything natural and rambly. But I'm just going to try it this way to get going. And there's also rock wool embers we can scatter around, but I'm not going to do that right now either because that's a whole separate thing, and it can mess up the burner, the flame. So let's just try it this way to begin. Okay. All right, let's see if we can make this thing do something. Oh, well, there we go. Steamy. So it's got to heat up a little bit and get a draft going. And I have it on high, so we want to run it on low for a few hours to break it in. Let's see if I can, here we go, down, 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 down. Well, I guess we'll just let the camera run and time-lapse this. In the meantime, we can hang our decorative frame on it.
Looks like a hell mouse.
Yeah, looks like a hellmouth. Yes, looks like a hellmouth. Well, we can fiddle with all that. So now we need to run it low for a couple of hours and run it high for a couple of hours, but I think that's good enough, more than enough on this topic. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh, now it's finally curing, days later.